Hi, Andrew. Thanks ever so much for getting involved with this project. Before we go any further, would you mind kind of introducing yourself and giving us some idea of what your job is?
So my name is Andrew McFarlane, and I am a marine biologist and diver at the National Marine Aquarium in Plymouth.
Fantastic. And what kind of activities are kind of part and parcel of your job?
It's really a whole bunch of different things, but the easiest way to break it down is one, which is husbandry, which means looking after our animals. And that's everything from preparing their food and feeding them. Also a little bit of training. So we train the animals to come to targets and to go into slings so that we can move them sometimes. And then also things like when they do get a bit poorly, the vet will tell us how we can give them their medicine and what we could do to help them. And then the other part of my job is about looking after their tanks and what they live in. So some of that will be looking after the really big machines that we have that clean the water and make it all safe. Sometimes it's cleaning the tanks themselves, and sometimes it's doing the chemistry to find out what sort of elements are in the water, everything from salt to magnesium, and making sure that those are in the correct levels so that our fish are nice and happy.
Fantastic, great. Okay, and so how did you get into this job? I mean, it's a pretty amazing job, but how did you get there?
Mine's a bit of a funny story. I hopped over to the Berkshire College of Agriculture. So rather than doing A-levels, I did a level 3 diploma, specifically in animal management. And I went into that actually wanting to be a sheep farmer. And then I needed a job, so I applied to Legoland Windsor Resort, and I applied to be an aquarist with them, which is just a fancy word for a fish zookeeper, which is the same job that I do here, but over in Legoland. And I got the job, and I realized that sharks are a lot cooler. I went to university for 2 years. I didn't finish my course, but it gave me enough knowledge that I knew what I was doing. And then all my years of experience at Legoland allowed me to get my job here at NMA. And I've been here almost 2 years now.
Fantastic. Clearly enjoying it then.
Yes, very much so.
Okay, that's good. When you were at school, I mean, what kind of subjects did you study, and which subject and which qualifications did you acquire when you were at school?
So I got my diploma in animal management, and that varied across lots of different subjects. But specifically, it was about animals. I didn't really choose different A-levels. Then when I went to university, I did 2 years of a foundation course for marine conservation. And then whilst I was at uni, using my own sort of time and money I'd saved up for my summer job, I learned how to dive, which was really helpful. I got PADI open water and then PADI rescue after that, which was pretty good.
Fantastic, blimey. Okay, so so since you've been doing the job both at Legoland and NMA, I mean, what kind of training do you have, or have you had since you've got into this role?
I think it's pretty much one of those jobs that you are always learning, and there's some things that happen in the job that maybe happen once a year, so you'll receive training there. You generally tend to have someone that shows you what to do from the beginning. I have a person above me called Heather, and she is my mentor, and she taught me a lot. And then also all the other experienced people that I've had have all trained me in certain different things. But throughout my career, it's always been those people in higher positions with more experience that have really shared their knowledge. So at any time I felt like I didn't know how to do something, they were always there to come and help and show me the best way to do it.
Okay, cool. Okay, so what kind of personal qualities would a person doing your kind of job probably need to have?
I think there's a variety of different things that can be beneficial because our job is so varied. Everyone has their different strengths, and I think everyone that comes here being passionate is really quite key. And then also being honest. I think that's a very important one as well. So even if you mess up or you make a mistake, if you're honest to everyone, then it allows you to help tackle those problems as they come up. And then also just having interest and being keen on what you can do, and also having that ability to say, maybe I don't do this the best, but maybe I can learn how to do it better, or focusing on your own strengths. And I think that's what really can benefit you here, is that passion and that honesty.
Okay, cool. Okay. And so in every kind of job, we have our highs and we have our lows. What would you say were the key challenges to the job that you're actually in?
For me, I think challenges that I personally faced is I was diagnosed with combined ADHD pretty recently into coming here. They didn't pick it up when I was a kid, but when I got here, I realized I was struggling. And a lot of that was time management. So we have a lot of things to do in the day, and we have to get them done. And I found it difficult to keep up with the pace, and also make sure that I wasn't spending too much time somewhere and elsewhere. And another thing is attention to detail. So the way that my brain functions is sometimes it doesn't pick up the details that are really important, and maybe my brain thinks is a bit boring, but then I'll pick up the really strange things. So sometimes that's a bonus, and other times it's a challenge. But it's been working with my mentors and my boss, and then also learning a bit more about myself and how I work, that allows me to combat those challenges. Other than that, I think it's pretty emotional. You work with so many animals, and you love them so much that on the rare occasion they get poorly, you get just as upset as if your dog or your cat at home was poorly. And I think that's quite difficult, because I'm surrounded by animals, so if any of them get poorly,
Okay, I understand.
very upset. But yeah, I think that's the challenges: time management, attention to detail, and being very, very attached to the animals.
Okay. So, okay, there's got to be a reward in all of this for you. I mean, what kind of gets you out of bed in the morning and kind of really fires you up?
It's got to be absolutely that I just enjoy the job. I love the animals to pieces. I enjoy looking after them. It's definitely something that I felt I've always been good at and enjoyed. And then also it's that satisfaction in the things that I'm not so good at, getting better at them. I always feel like I'm challenging myself and learning new things. And also I feel like I'm doing something that's helping the world as well, because we have lots of conservation efforts that help animals out in the wild, and not just the animals that we've got here at the aquarium. And that's really exciting.
Fantastic. So if you were talking to a young person about taking up a career or following your kind of career, what kind of advice would you give to them?
I would say there's not just one path into the career. I know there's some people that are very, very good at school, and they're very good at university, and those guys are great. There's lots of information about all the different marine related and science related subjects that you can take that will help you. But also people that are maybe a little less academically inclined, such as myself, that there are different pathways out there. Like you can learn on the job if you're willing to take the jobs that are a little bit lower down, and then maybe do a bit of work experience before you get there. So just showing that you're willing to learn, I think, is really important, and having a good, positive and honest attitude is what's gotten me so far, even though my grades weren't the highest. And I think that's what people need to take away, is that there's different routes you can get in, and you need to find what works for you.
Fantastic. Well, you've been an inspiration. Amazing. Thanks ever so much.